Great.
You know, the Wagi Valley is a very interesting place to grow tea and coffee because it's volcanic soil and which has been drained off, which we use as loamy, and it's rich, very rich soil which you know brings out a unique flavor to our teas and coffees. And something very special about the Wagi Valley is we do not use pesticides,
Wow.
which is nowhere in the world.
Wow. So it's organic.
It's more or less, you know, it's the valley is such, the conditions of the soils are such that we do not use pesticides per se
Why not?
because there are no pests in that.
And
They
how?
don't attack the trees unlike the other origins of the world.
And what's the secret behind it? Why is it that no pet parasites will go near to your tea?
Well, it's something that the scientists will have to come and just explain to us. But it's strange because I worked out in Sri Lanka. I've seen the plantations of tea there. I've been out in Kenya, tea and coffee, and I've come to Papua New Guinea, and this is something unique that I found here.
Wow.
Yeah. So the tea is grown. By the way, this is grown at about 5,000 feet above sea level, and also at the foothills of Mount Hagen.
And so about this tea, the perfect tea, you know, that you spoke about. Where does this volcanic soil come from actually?
Well, it's been there for thousands of years, I suppose.
Wow.
The valley, that's the natural lay of the land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a natural
Amazing.
lay of the land. Yeah, it's just amazing. When anything grows there, fruits, vegetables, and all that in abundance, and very pure, you know, pristine surroundings. We have a good rainfall for tea. Intermittent evening showers and morning sunshine most of the time, which is very conducive for tea. And the tea too has something special in this sense that it has a special astringency, which I don't find maybe in our teas of other origins. This is special, but unfortunately we are not so well known, and we are placed in a position a little far away from the other, you know, closer to the importing countries, which makes our tea a little expensive or difficult, you know, which because of the freight involvement. But there again, I must say that this tea is very useful for any blend of a tea bag. This tea is very useful to any blend of tea bags. We own about 90% of the local market with our national number one. This is the national number one, and is sold 90% in Papua New Guinea, and also goes out to all the Pacific countries like Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, a little bit into Australia, and Fiji.
And why do they call it a national number one?
That's a name that they have got. Because you know what happens is the Papuans always refer to something good as number one. So we have called our tea the national number one tea.
Now about your this tea, MBF tea, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, MBF, this is our sister company who is marketing the Papua New Guinean tea in Malaysia. And they have these products for, you know, the common man, I would say. These tea bags, classic tea, and they have also begun, now there is new packs coming through, and they are also here with us today to also promote their tea packs. A classic brand, a perfect brand, and a premium brand.
Now, what's next for Papua New Guinea? What kind of outlook do you see, in terms of economic growth in the coffee and tea industry for Papua New Guinea? And is Papua New Guinea still planning to expand, its coffee and tea growth?
Yeah, as regards coffee, I must say there is no issue because we are world famous, we are growing, and Sigri and Bunembo are the leading brands in Papua New Guinea. They are known as the flagship brands of Papua New Guinean coffee. And over the past, I would say, decade or two, Sigri and Bunembo lifted up the good name of coffees in Papua New Guinea. So there's a good future there. It's very positive. Coffee, many people are involved in the coffee trade. There are smallholders also into this. So they are also, it's a growing industry, right? But as for tea, I must say we are all alone We are fighting a big battle to keep our teas. He is moving to keep our teas you might say reaching all parts of the globe, right? Why? Because we are out distance in freight. That's another problem. And also, right now there's a lot of development going on in Papua New Guinea with the big LNG project, the mining projects that are on, and also there's a lot of development going on. Roads are being developed, which augurs well for both industries, so that we can get move our teas and coffees a little more faster into the ports and out of the ship them out. Okay. There's anything else?
Oh yes, and also pertaining about for first-time customers who are going to buy, your tea and your coffee from Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
How would you recommend, a pairing of food? Have you tried that pairing of food? Pairing of food. How would you? What kind of food or cuisine would you recommend?
Oh.
Yes. If someone comes to Papua New Guinea and buys your tea and coffee, would you recommend any cuisine?
Well, I've been spending most of my time out in the highlands, up there in the highlands, and they have what is known as a mumu, and that's their native way of cooking food with hot stones, and where the vegetables, the greens, and the meats are placed into this. This sort of ovens that with hot stones, and though I've not personally attended one of them, but it's supposed to be very good. That's a native.
So you will go well with tea and coffee.
Of course, this is this national #1 tea is a household name in Papua New Guinea, and people always finish their meal with one of these cups, and you always get in their little village huts. You always get a pot of water boiling, so that no sooner someone comes to visit them, a cup of tea, national #1 tea is given to them. So cuisine-wise, I don't know whether there are any exceptions, but they are meat eaters. There are a lot of meat eaters. They're mainly meat eaters in the islands, and it's fresh fruit and vegetables. Most amazing fresh fruits and vegetables that are available, and people who come over there should take good advantage of that.
Now, before we go, how did the tea and coffee culture actually cultivated in Papua New Guinea? Do you know? Is there any history behind that?
Well, it was brought in by the